Hi everyone, Stepan here. I'm going to try and play another training game. Unfortunately for me, my laptop has been messing around with me today. I've already tried playing and recording one training game and it crashed almost. It froze about 20 times because of overheating. The game froze, I blundered the piece, had to stop recording and got really frustrated. And during the game, one person challenged me on lichess and said that he is 1950 FIDE. So we arranged to play a game now. Please cross your fingers that my laptop doesn't die and that I managed to record this. Okay, so I'm going to challenge him for a game. I've set my laptop up on a few books on a few sides to make sure it doesn't heat that much. Yeah, okay, so he played d4, I'm black. Let's go. He's quite low rated for a 1950 player. Let's say good luck. Okay, so yeah, I have a few questions for you guys before I get into the game seriously. I need some advice with laptops and computers, and let me explain my questions. Firstly, I'm looking to buy a new laptop, obviously, because this one is really old and I've had trouble with it for a while, and now it seems it's finally near its end. And during hot days, and today it's really hot, running OBS and lichess seems to be crashing it. So my first question is, I want to have chess base and I want to run engine analysis on my new PC, and I want to go in depth really fast. So I want, since I'm going to buy a new PC, get something really powerful, which is going to last for at least 5 years, because yeah, I'm not able to buy new laptops often. So my first question is, can I have a laptop at all, or do I need a desktop to run chess base and stuff that uses a lot of processing power? And if I buy a laptop, is there a laptop strong enough which will not overheat? And my second question is, if I buy a laptop, is an 8-core processor enough, or do I need a 16-core processor? So if anybody knows anything about computers and chess base, please let me know. I have a friend that knows a lot about computers, but he doesn't know anything about chess engines. And I don't have anybody to ask, basically. So please give me some advice. Also, I'm trying to come up with enough money to buy a new laptop, so if you would like to support me, there are links in the description below, because this one might not survive for long. Okay, bishop g5. I'm happy to see this move. I'm going to play h6. We are going to get into the Moscow or the anti-Moscow. Okay, yeah, let's not think about it too much, just h6, I'm sorry. So now he can either take on f6, where I play queen takes, or he can play bishop h4, where I just take on b4. And now it is an extra pawn. After e4, I play g5. And then he doesn't have e5 because I'm attacking his bishop already. And this should be equal according to the engines, but I really love the positions for black. I think that black has an extra pawn, which is a fact, and white has a huge attack. But if black manages to get in bishop b7, knight d7, bishop e7 or bishop g7, then black should be fine. And this is not the Be2 Semi-Slav. In the Be2 Semi-Slav, the bishop obviously is not attacked here. And in this position, white plays the move e5, and then we get that variation where it's basically equal. Black in the end is the one giving up a pawn. So it's not the same thing. The anti-Moscow, which we are playing now, is basically the Be2 Semi-Slav with black being a tempo up, because black gets to play h6, chasing the bishop away. Now I just play b5 and I have an extra pawn. His best move here is probably bishop e2, with a plan of knight e5, bishop f3, opening up the diagonal. Or he can play knight e5 immediately, putting pressure on c6, where I'm going to play bishop b7. So he could also try bishop e5, but that's not as good. So yeah, I'm a pawn up, and we are going to have an extremely aggressive game. If this guy is 1950 FIDE and plays d4 and bishop g5, then I'm sure he knows the anti-Moscow. I've been playing the Semi-Slav for 3 years, and I've never played the anti-Moscow in a tournament game. Everybody always either takes on f6 or plays e3 instead of bishop g5. Okay, e5 immediately. That I am happy to see, because now I can play knight d5, and if he takes with his knight, I take with the queen to make sure I have c5 later on and bishop b7. So I'm going to play knight d5. I think e5 is a mistake. e5 is a mistake because now he doesn't have pressure on the long diagonal. After knight takes, queen takes, knight move, or bishop e2, knight moves, bishop f3, I have a lot of time to play bishop b7, queen d7, and c5. So here I'm really happy with black. Also, if he doesn't take, I'm going to just play bishop b7, bishop g7, maybe even knight b4 to knight d3 if he moves the bishop around, and I'm happy with my position. Okay, my laptop is starting to make really loud noises again. Let's hope it remains alive. Yeah, I also want to mention that I want to buy a laptop because I don't want to have a desktop, because then when I go on tournaments, I would basically have to buy a laptop and a desktop to make sure I have something when I go on tournaments, because I would like to record there and I obviously want to prepare. Yeah, I think he realized that e5 is a mistake. That's never a move you play here, or at least it's not a move you play here unless black is forced to recapture with the c-pawn, because if I take with the c-pawn here, my bishop is just dead for the rest of the game. There's no future for the bishop. I do have an extra pawn, but I'm a piece down. Yeah, and now he is going for bishop e2, bishop f3, which makes a lot of sense. So now I think I'm just going to take on c3 and play bishop b7, c5. Because now if he plays bishop e2, c5 defends the f3 square. If he plays bishop f3, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, knight d7, my rook is defended by the queen. Any a4, I play a6. And I'm really happy to see e5 on the board, because now his bishop is just a very bad piece. And in these positions, white needs all the piece activity he can get. Otherwise, my pawn up is just a pawn up. And if you play aggressively, there's compensation. Now here, I don't think there's any compensation anymore after e5. I think black is just better. Still, it's a very aggressive variation. And if black ever castles kingside, then a move such as h4 comes to mind. And I think that I didn't want to go for one key variation. After b5, and I'm not sure if that's after white plays knight e5 or bishop e2. Yeah, probably knight e5. Then I can play h5, force white to play h3, and then play h4, chase the bishop back to h2. That way I gain some more space. My pawn is basically on h4 instead of h6, which is good for me. So, but you can play it this way. I sort of want to keep the option of castling kingside in some positions after bishop g7, and also after h4 I can play bishop g7. For the moment, h4 is impossible. No, it's not. After bishop e7, h4 is impossible because g4, bishop h4, and the queen is defending. And he is in a long thing, which I can understand. c5 is coming. Every time I say c5 is coming, I imagine winter is coming. And I don't even watch Game of Thrones. Yeah, by the way, talking about Game of Thrones, I spend a few months, or at least a month per year in Split, and they've recorded some episodes of the show there, and now there are probably 20 shops with Game of Thrones stuff over there, and people will visit the locations at which the series was recorded like they are real historical sites. That's just unbelievable. Yeah, when your opponent is in a long think, you can talk about stupid stuff. Okay, I think my laptop froze again. Please hold on a little bit, please. Sorry about this, guys. It seems like it's overheating all the time, but it seems like it's almost dead now. I hope the recording survives. If I'm going to give this, I'm going to say this in advance. If my laptop dies, I'm going to try to log in on my phone, finish the game, and then if this recording survives, I'm going to combine this recording with the analysis for the rest of the game, if I manage to do that, but no promises, because I'm not sure about OBS, and when your computer crashes, does it save the recording? But still, cross your fingers that it survives until the end of the game. And I'm not even using the engine now. This usually happens if I turn on the engine. That seems to be too much for my laptop. Ugh. And any advice of a good cheap laptop would be great. All the stuff I've been looking at costs around 2,000 euros. Is there anything that I could use the latest Stockfish with that's good? Okay, Queen F3. Queen F3, what's the point of Queen F3? What if I just play Queen C7 or Queen B6? Is there any pressure on F7? He can probably play Queen F6, which I don't want to allow. So maybe I should just continue with Queen E7, because now I do get a tempo on the Queen. On the other hand, if I play Queen E7, he can play Knight E4, and then my rook is undefended. So maybe I should play Knight D7 first to defend the F6 square, then play Queen C8 and C5. Because I need to defend both the F6 square and the D6 square, because Knight E4 is coming into both squares. And my knight is going to be defending F6, and my bishop defends D6. So now my next move is going to be Queen C7 or Queen C8. I still have to decide. I don't know if you can hear this through the microphone, but my laptop sounds like this. It's just horrible. By the way, today I saw a player called Chaotic Neutral Monk on lichess, and lately I'm running a D&D game. I'm the dungeon master, and I've created a world which I've been working on for about 2 years, 1.5 years, and we started playing in May this year, and we are really into the campaign. And well, we only had 3 sessions because all of us are busy, and I'm really excited about the campaign and what they are going to be encountering. So yeah, it's nice to see D&D players playing chess. Let me know if you guys play D&D. Okay, back to the game. H4. h4. Should I just play bishop e7? That seems fairly sensible. Bishop e7, and then if he takes, I would have to take with the bishop, and then knight e4, and then I can probably play the move c5 because the knight is pinned. No, but then knight d6. Check wins my bishop. Okay, I need to be a bit smarter and I need to concentrate here. For the moment, the queen is defending the pawn. Knight e4 is a big concern for me in this position. I really don't want to allow, like, bishop e7, hg, bishop g, knight e4, knight e7. That doesn't seem that pleasant, although it might be okay. Though I may not have to do anything about that, I'm not sure. What if I just continue with rook b8 and play c5? And if knight e4, rook b8, knight e4, c5, knight d6 check takes, knight f6 check takes with the knight. Kind of like rook b8. I like rook b8 because then my bishop is not hanging, my rook is not hanging. I'm still keeping the defense over all the pawns. If h takes, queen takes, bishop h4, I probably could play queen g6. And then c5 is still coming. What about bishop b7? Bishop b7, knight e4, threatens knight d6, no good. Rook b8, pawn takes, rook b8, knight e4, is that a threat? Rook b8, knight e4, c5, pawn takes, bishop takes knight, yeah. Rook b8, knight e4 is what I'm struggling to solve right now. Rook b8, knight e4. Can I then just take? No. Rook b8, knight e4, c5. Pawn takes, bishop takes knight, queen g5. Yeah, queen g5 is impossible because my a8 rook is hanging. That I forgot. h4 is a great move. Rook b8, knight e4. And I lose a pawn in that variation. Can I increase the pressure on e4 in any way? Well, I can always take on d4. I've spent a lot of time on this move. I'm going to play rook b8. I'm not sure it's good because he can take, and if queen g5, okay, if he takes, I'm going to play queen g6 afterwards. But knight e4 c5, knight e4 pawn takes. I'm not too sure about this move. I have to say I'm not sure about this move. I'm going to try to check it with an engine later. Can't promise it will work, but I'm going to try. Okay, he took. Now, do I go queen g5 or do I go c5 immediately? Queen g5, knight e4. Queen g6, knight d6 check, bishop takes. Queen g6, something else, I'm going to play c5. If I play c5 immediately, he is going to play knight e4. And then I cannot take on g5. So I should probably just take on g5 with the queen. If bishop h4, once again queen g6 should be good for me. Quite happy with this. Oh, I also have to look at rook h5. Rook h5, queen g6. Once again queen g6, always queen g6. Triple defense of h6 is fine, c5 is coming. I'm going to take. I'm not afraid of knight e4. Yeah, I had a huge time advantage. Now he did manage to get caught up on time, which is not good, but I think I had to think for a long time on this move. I was more worried about knight e4, to be honest, but I was going to play c5 and get into those aggressive lines. Yeah, and the anti-Moscow is always like this. It's always really exciting, and neither king is castled and safe, and black has to develop his poor bishop, his poor c8 bishop. I did manage to get it to b7, but until I can play c5, it's no good still. Queen f3 I've never seen before, I have to be honest. Queen f3 I've never seen, and I doubt it's a good move. You always want your bishop on f3, and you don't want to play e5 in these positions because your bishop is just dead. Okay, this I expected. Queen g6. Is there anything wrong with queen g6? Knight d6, I take. Knight f6, I take. Bishop h4 doesn't work. Okay, I'm just going to play it. Queen g6. Now his queen is tied down and c5 is double attacking the knight. There's no easy way to defend because of my wonderful c4 pawn. c5 threatens to win a piece. After c5, he would have to play knight d6 check. No, that still loses. I'm not sure what he does. After c5, he probably has to play rook h4, to which I just play bishop e7. And then rook g4, and it's getting unpleasant. So after rook h4, I should probably continue with something like h5, trying to prevent rook g4. Although I always have queen h7, I feel. So let's see. Yeah, this is a really interesting game. I'm happy to finally play this in a training game. We are finally playing a variation which I could encounter in a tournament game. What's this? I didn't expect this. I have to take. My rook is hanging, but I have time to move it because I have c5. So if c5 attacks the queen. c5 attacks the queen. Okay, when the queen moves and it cannot stay on the light squares, my bishop is not attacked, and then I can move my rook probably to d8, and then probably to d5, and then probably I should be much better or winning. So let's calculate this. c5, if bishop takes rook, I mean, it's no good. c5, queen moves. Where does the queen move? Probably to e3. d2, e2 wouldn't be good. d1, I'm not sure about. So c5, queen moves, rook d8. If d takes c, my rook is already on the d file. I don't believe this variation. I don't believe knight f6 was good. c5, queen moves, rook d8, threatening rook d5. Yeah, I'm just going to play it. I think that this has to be good. Obviously, if he plays d5, I take with the bishop. Oof, and if I manage to castle king side, which is risky, but is far less risky than leaving my king on e8, I feel. Although my king on e8 is fine here. Shouldn't make a big fuss about this. Yeah, I feel like my position is almost winning. If not winning already, I don't know. It's still tricky and a lot of stuff can happen, but it's not as if his king is safe. His king is on e1. Yeah, I'm sorry that I lost rating points in the game. I lost because my computer froze, but what can you do? As you may know, I'm trying to get to 2100 on lichess classical, and I'm also trying to get to 2300 on lichess tactics. Today I surpassed 2200 on tactics, yay, for the first time. And yeah, now I still need 97 points to go, and I need another, what's it now, 164 points to go until I reach 2100 in classical. He's having a long think again, which is understandable, but I think queen e3 should be the best move, because then at least after rook d8 he can take on c5. After queen e3 I might even consider rook c8, to be honest. Or better, after rook c8, queen e3, rook c8, I have queen e4. Yeah, the screen froze again. Sorry, guys. Please, just 10 more moves. Survive for 10 more moves, please. This is really frustrating. I'm going to try to borrow someone's computer, and when we move in the next few weeks, when we transfer Lucia's PC to the flat, then I might record on hers until I manage to get enough money to buy a new one. This is just really too hard. He's spending a lot of time. I have a time advantage. That's good. It's good that rook b1 is illegal, or illegal, loses the rook, because rook b1 would be unpleasant, threatening bishop c4. I mean, I managed to get c5 in and still kept the extra pawn. So, in theory, in the anti-Moscow, if you still have the extra pawn, when you play c5, you are better. That's the general rule. Now, it still remains to be seen what I do after queen e3. Because of course I could go rook c8, queen e4. That's always a good option. And then it's really hard for him to develop his bishop. I mean, it's always hard for him to develop his bishop with my bishop on e7. Yeah, by the way, I also wanted to mention, sorry for not being active in the comments the past few days, weeks. I just didn't have enough time. I had huge amounts of work and we were also now, 2 weeks ago we moved from our last flat. Now we are moving in the new one and it takes a lot of time. Okay, so rook d8 was my plan. Rook d8 I'm going to play. What if queen c7? Am I worried about queen c7? Rook d8, queen c7, queen e4 check, king moves, and then queen c6, rook d8, queen c7, queen e4 check, king moves, queen c6, defends my bishop, threatens a trade of queens, defends my rook, defends my c5 pawn, doesn't allow any checks, the king is misplaced, the g2 pawn is weak, and I'm looking forward to taking on d4 and winning a pawn. So rook d8, queen c7, queen e4 check, bishop e2 perhaps, queen c6. I'm guessing the queen moves back to f4, and then I can probably take on g2. Okay, rook d8, queen c7, queen e4 check, bishop e2, queen c6, the queen moves back, queen g2, the rook goes to h2, I guess, queen back to c6, or queen to e4 would be better. Okay, I'm going to play that. If you have a plan, follow it through. It's unfortunate for him that I have queen e4 check, otherwise queen c7 would be a really good move. I would have to play something like bishop a8. Okay, 8 more moves. Survive for 8 more moves, please. He's getting down to 1 minute, which is never good in these positions. And I'm about, if I manage to take cd4, it's game over. Has to be game over. Although he could try queenside castling, which seems suicidal. It's legal. He's going to have to move quickly. Bishop e2. Okay. He decided to do that first. Do I not just have bishop d6 now? Well, he does have bishop h4, but then I have a check here. Okay, bishop d6. He is in time trouble. Let's force him to think. Okay, queen there. Bishop g2 or queen e4. Bishop g2 or queen e4. Or should I take here first? I should take here first. Calm moves quickly. Calm moves quickly. Okay. Pawn takes. My next move is queen e4. I don't know what he does about that. Oh, my pawn is hanging here. That's probably not good. No, my pawn is not hanging. He cannot take with the rook. Yeah. Queen e4. If rook h6, just queen takes queen. If queen h6, I mean, rook h6. And I don't see a way to defend d4, and I don't see a way to stop my passed c4 pawn. No way. And when we exchange the queens, g2 is hanging and d4 is hanging. So yeah, even if he has 2 hours here, I think I should be easily winning. Pawn up, a passed pawn on c4. A huge potential to win the second pawn, almost inevitable. Probably something like this is best, but yeah. Maybe I should just take on g2. I could consider taking on d4, but that would lose my bishop. So yeah, takes on g2. No problem with that. 2 pawns up. I'm going to solidify with bishop d5. His rook is coming to a7. Is that a threat? Is that serious? I doubt it. I have to defend with the pawn here. Rook a7, 1 check. Not important, not dangerous. I'm just going to play rook b8. Yeah, 2 passed pawns. Unfortunately for him, this is nearly impossible to hold. If he could get 2 rooks to the 7th rank, then great, but that's not happening anytime soon, especially with this diagonal being owned by my beautiful semi-Slav bishop. Okay, that's a move, I guess. Yeah, I have enough time. I should take this slowly. He wants to get his king into b4. I could just try taking over the a file with rook a8. Kind of like that. Because rook h8 is always impossible. So rook a8 has to move the rook. Probably to b1. Then I have a check. And he has to keep defending his bishop. Kind of like rook a8, because there's no way for me to get my other rook into the game unless I can play king d7. And there's no way I can allow king b4, because he's going to win my pawn. So I sort of want to play king c6. And all of that is impossible if his rook controls the a file. And if I get the rooks off the board, I feel that he doesn't have enough counterplay, so rook a8 is my choice. Any threats? I don't see any. Okay, takes. King c3. I have to be careful about king d7, king c6 because bishop f3 wins my bishop. Okay, this I'm happy to see. Okay, concentrate. Yeah, it does look scary. I'm thinking about bishop d5 and then b4. But bishop b5, g5, I cannot take because my rook is hanging. Bishop d5, g5. b4, if rook takes, I have to play rook g8. If pawn takes, well, I play king d7 probably. So okay, I'm just going to play my plan. I'm not sure about this, and I don't know if it's the best plan, but I'm going to play that. Okay, now if he takes, I do nothing. If he takes with the rook, I play rook g8. Okay, b4. If he pushes the pawn, I can take. Okay, now I do nothing. And it's hard for him to defend that pawn except with the rook. So I'm going to play king d7, get my king off the back rank. I don't think his pawn is going anywhere. Both of our rooks are stuck. He wants to get his bishop here. That's clear. If he gets his bishop here, defending the pawn, then push the pawn, defend it with the bishop, play rook g8 and win. So I cannot allow that. I have to play b3, which isn't good. Then his king is blockading my pawns. That's not good. That's not good, but I think I have to play it. I don't have another option. I cannot allow bishop c2. Okay, his king gets in. I need to oppose it. No, did I just blunder bishop h5? I think I just blundered bishop h5. Ooh, he didn't see it. Okay. Oof. Okay, now I have to defend. Still bishop h5, I mean, he can sacrifice the bishop, because when I play rook h7, he takes here, I take, and he pushes the pawn. Still doesn't see it. Okay, what do I do here? What do I do here? What do I do here? Why did I get this so... why is this so complicated now all of a sudden? Can I just go king a4? King a4 with the idea of king a3. King a4, he can take on c4, bishop takes c4, bishop takes c4. Doesn't work because I play king a3, or does it? King a4, bishop takes, king takes, king a3. He would have to play something like rook h3, king a2, rook h2 check. I'm not sure about that. I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do, and I can't believe I'm getting so low on time here. I'm going to play that, even though it doesn't seem that good. And then if he plays king b2, I'm going to play king b4. Follow it up with c. Okay, he takes. Critical line, here we go. He has rook a5 check. Ah, it's horrible. Just horrible. If he goes king here, I have to check. Okay, check. Oh, okay, it did work. I thought rook a5 would be better. Oh, okay. Okay, concentrate for one more move. Concentrate for one more move. You are winning. You just need to finish this game. Rook c1, queens, queen check, queening with check. His king is closer. Damn it. Rook h8, king c7, king c2, check, king back. Rook c1, queens, queen check. Am I the first one to checkmate? I cannot see it. Rook c1, rook takes, queen takes, he queens, and then it should be a draw. I'm going to play rook c1 because I don't see a better move, and I think I'm queening with check, or I'm queening first. So it should be a draw. Queens, queen check. And now I just win. That's what he missed. I can now just win the rook. Or do I checkmate? Do I win the rook on checkmate? Oh my god, what do I do? Am I worried about the queen check? on a8. Okay, I'm going to try to checkmate him. Perhaps I should have taken the rook just and been better. Yeah, but I managed to checkmate him. Okay. Oof. This was a stressful game. My palms are sweaty like it's a tournament game. I'm not being precise here. I'm not even pretending to be precise. Okay. Whew. And my laptop survived. Okay, good game. Whoa, okay, I'm not going to turn on the engine. You can find the in-depth, not in-depth, but analysis and the tasks I'm going to be sending out in the daily PDF to patrons. I have to say my heart is pumping now, and I don't know if I should have taken the rook, but I guess checkmate was correct. And thank you for watching. This has been very stressful. I hope you liked the game. Let me know what you think. And cheers, guys. See you tomorrow. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye-bye.